Hi, welcome to this typical muley production. Today's video is on the Mule Deer Rut 2023, and there's a lot of cool bucks on this, a lot of unique bucks, some really cool rut behavior, and let's get started. No brow, 5x4. This is a really cool, unique buck. He's got no brow tines, but he's got a cool point in between his tines on his front fork on his right antler. He's just a beautiful deer, a young deer, probably 3 years old. I caught him this morning along a fence line running does, and just a beautiful young buck with great potential. And this was just a cool couple of sequences that I caught him out rutting does. I apologize for the camera work here. I was just trying to readjust it and zoom in, get the angle a little better. But you can see, just a neat 4-point with that extra on his right antler. This sequence right here, you get a little better look at him. I got a little closer to him in this sequence, and he's just a beautiful buck. Beautiful, beautiful deer. Ridge top youngster. I thought I'd throw this clip in here of this young deer just because of his profile up on top of this ridge line. Just a cool young 2.5-year-old deer, little 3x4. That's the cool thing about bucks this age. You never know what they're going to turn into. Beautiful deer in a beautiful location. Some cool lighting. Just thought I'd share this clip with you guys. Pleasant surprise. We went to kind of a different location where we saw this buck at, and we weren't expecting to see a whole lot. We came around the corner and surprised, this buck was standing there in the sagebrush, just a beautiful young, what we thought at the time was a 4x4, 3-year-old deer. Just a cool young buck. And so we were sitting here watching him, and I apologize again for the camera work. I was trying to get my camera on my tripod to stay steady and to get the right framing, but back to the story. So yeah, we came around the corner, saw this buck, and we were surprised because we weren't expecting to see a whole lot in this area, and we were surprised how many deer were in this area. Actually, there were quite a few, but the big surprise came when this deer turns here in a second. You'll see right here that he's got that inline on his left antler there. So we're surprised by that and thought that was kind of cool. Just a beautiful deer. here's another little clip of him, and he's just rutting these does and just going in and out of the sagebrush. First light. One morning, first light, we caught this buck just coming over this little hump in the ridge, and he had his nose to the ground, looking for does, and headed straight toward us. And it's kind of funny. We're sitting there, and he sees us. He's like, "Oh." So he kind of turned around and trots off. Just a beautiful little 3x3 buck. Cool buck. Turkey. This buck got his name because on his antlers on both sides, on his front forks, he has an extra point there. So it kind of gives him that turkey foot look on both sides. So that's how he got his name, Turkey. And this sequence right here is kind of cool. He's taking out his frustrations on this little juniper tree, and he'll get after it, and he'll stop for a minute, and he'll go after it again. And I did get a lot of footage of this buck, and so enjoy the footage of this guy. Yep, then here he goes back again, taking it on this poor little juniper bush. It's kind of a cool buck. Not real wide, just narrow. Just a young deer though. I think he's only 3. He may be 4, but he's not any older than that. Just a cool younger deer. And this sequence, he walked up on top of this rock pile here, and you get a better look at him. And like I said, he's not a huge deer, you know. But he's got a cool, I love that pale patch on his forehead. And from a distance, this was an awesome way to identify this buck because he has this pale patch. So if you see him, you know for sure it's him. He's just a cool young deer sitting up on top of this rock pile posing. And yeah, like I said, he's not the biggest deer, but you never know. In the upcoming years, he could turn out to be a really nice buck. He's a nice buck now. This sequence here was a different day, and I got a little closer to him, and you can see that extra on his left really good in this sequence. And the extra on his right's kind of hiding behind his other antler here, so it's a little harder to see, but just a really cool deer. I really love the coloring of this deer, like his coat color and that pale patch on his forehead makes him really stand out and be unique. Young 4. This is a cool sequence of this buck here, this 4x4. Running this doe pretty good. Wherever she went, he went. And just a beautiful young deer. Probably a 3-year-old deer. Not huge, you know. Just has average forks. Nothing huge. But just a cool deer. Cool looking deer. Could end up being a really nice buck in the future. Just beautiful sequence here of him running this doe and chasing her around. I did get quite a bit of footage of this buck too. The sequence is pretty long, but it's cool. And again, apologize for some of the camera work. Keep adjusting the camera to get better footage of him. And I really like this shot here of this doe in the foreground and him in the background. Just a cool looking series, you know, cool looking part of the video. Him just peering over the sagebrush and her in the foreground. Just a cool cinematic picture right here. Yeah, this doe in the forefront's kind of cool too. You notice she has that double throat patch, which is kind of cool. This upcoming sequence is kind of cool. They start to move off and I'm following with the camera. Kind of disappears on me and I'm like, I can't figure out where he went. So I lost him for a second and next thing I know he pops up and he's skylined and It's just a beautiful, beautiful picture right here. Just an awesome buck. Rutting this doe pretty hard. Just a cool sequence. Young 3x4. This is a cool video sequence, just short one of this young 3x4 rutting these does, and he's just a cool young deer. I like the pose right here, just cool, and enjoy. Rutting 3x4. This is a cool footage here of this mature 3x4 buck out rutting this doe, and just a beautiful deer. He's got quite a bit of mass. I think he's a 4-year-old deer. He could be 5. He's definitely a mature buck, and he's just strutting his stuff out here, showing everybody he's the king. I mean, these are not real wide. I mean, he probably won't get much bigger than this, but just a beautiful buck. He's got good fronts, tall G2s, just a cool buck. Enjoy the footage. Looking back, this is a pretty cool sequence of this buck here. He's a 3x4 and just a beautiful deer. You can tell he's an older deer, but he's got shallow forks. He's nothing impressive, but just beautiful. I mean, not every mule deer can be a giant, and so you have to appreciate the ones that aren't as well. This is just a beautiful deer, and it had just snowed, and I caught him, by himself, in between does, and just stood here and posed for me, looking back. Big mature deer, guessing he's 4 years old, maybe even older. He's got that big old Roman nose. Beautiful buck. And as he starts to move off, you can see him from the back here. I mean, he's not a bad buck. He's got that long G2s. His forks are weak, but hey, he's a beautiful deer. Got a good frame. Wave. This is a cool 4x4 here. I call him Wave because you can see, like on those G2s, he's got kind of a wavy G2. His front fork, his G4 on there is kind of wavy, so that's why I called him Wave. He's just got kind of some wavy points, but just a cool buck, just a nice 4x4, nothing giant, just your good, average run-of-the-mill 4x4, and beautiful buck. Caught him bedded, and he just sit there and posed for me. And this next sequence right here was a different day, and I saw him again, and he was out just searching for does out in the snow. And just a beautiful buck, a big body deer. He's definitely a mature buck, 4 years plus. and cool to see out here. Love seeing these mule deer out here on the winter range, during the rut. Just cool bucks. Tall 3. This is a very unique 3-point. One of the coolest deer I've ever seen. Yeah, he's not going to score great, but just the shape of his antlers, the formation of them, his deep forks, really tall, just a cool buck. And I don't think he's very old. I think he's 3, maybe 4, but I don't think he's any older than that. Just a cool buck, and he's just coming over the top of this ridge line here, and I happened to see him and got some sweet footage of him. And this next sequence of him is really cool. You kind of see him from the side here. You can see how long his points are and deep his forks are, and how long G2s he has and G4s. Just beautiful deer. Beautiful, unique buck. Looks like he's got a little bit of junk on his bases, and he was just following this doe wherever she goes. And just to enjoy the footage of this beautiful, unique mule deer. Bruiser. This buck got his name because of how big his body is. This is a huge bodied mule deer. Probably one of the biggest bodies on a mule deer I've ever seen. It makes his head look small, makes his antlers look small. But anyway, this is definitely an older buck. Definitely in his prime. Big, mature mule deer. Got awesome antlers. Big 4x4. He's got awesome brow tines. And he wouldn't score the best. His forks are just kind of average. They're not huge. I mean, they're not small, but they're not huge. And I do, however, know how much this buck scores, because this buck was harvested during the draw hunt. And just a beautiful buck, and he scored 172. And so, not a bad mule deer, low 170, just a big, nice, mature mule deer. And look how big that body is right there in that shot. Look how big his body is compared to his head. And you can tell there's just a big old bruiser of a buck, just a big old dominant mule deer out there. And he did have some does with him here. He probably had 5 or 6 does with him, and We were lucky to see him because we stopped to look at the does just to see if there are any bucks with him, and he was laying down in the sagebrush, and my brother was with me, and he happened to glass him up through the sagebrush, see his tines shining from the sun through the sagebrush. So we just stuck around till he stood up, and we got this awesome footage of him. So enjoy the rest of this footage of this beautiful bruiser of a buck. Mr. Clean. This is a nice 4x4 mule deer. Call him Mr. Clean because he's just slick 4x4. Just a clean 4x4. Beautiful, big, mature mule deer. 4 or 5 years old, I'm guessing. Probably mid 170s to low 180s type buck. Just a cool deer. One of the bigger ones that I saw out on the winter range during the rut this year. And I got quite a bit of footage of this deer. I saw him on 3 separate occasions, so I got quite a bit of footage of him. And as each sequence comes along, I'll kind of give you the rundown about what was going on. Just a beautiful buck. Enjoy the footage. Here he is again, just rutting this doe here and kind of chasing her. And this gives you a little better look at him. You can see how tall he is, how deep his forks are. Just a beautiful, beautiful mature mule deer. This sequence here is from another day, and a little later in the season, and he was out with some does and this other 4-point buck that you'll see here in a minute, and just out perusing. It's kind of funny because I think he was trying to push this buck right here off, just kind of keep him away from all the does. The does were kind of off to the left hand of the screen here, and he's just kind of headed him off. This buck here is kind of cool. He's got that double throat patch. This younger deer here, just a little young 4-point. But yeah, he was just, I think, trying to keep this buck away from his does. These next couple sequences here was on a different day, and I saw him up much closer in these next couple sequences, and gets a really good look at this buck, and he's just a beautiful, beautiful mule deer. This is some of my favorite footage that I got all year long. Right here, I got a photograph of him right here, and this is one of my favorite photographs of the year. It's in my 2023 top 20 photos, and if you want to see it, I'll put a link to that video in the description, so you can go watch that video of my top 20 photos of the year. But anyway, he's a beautiful, beautiful buck, Mr. Clean. He's got that little teeny eye guard on the one side, and that's it. Just a nice, slick 4-point buck. And that, I'm guessing, mid 170s, maybe low 180s range. He's not real wide. He's probably only 24 to 25 inches wide, but he's got big, long main beams. He's got decent mass, good tine length, just a good all-around buck. And this sequence right here, just beautiful lighting. The sun had just come up, and I just got some beautiful footage of him, and enjoy. Thanks for watching that video. In the comments, let me know what your favorite buck was and why. And comment, like, and subscribe. And remember to live in the moment. Enjoy the memories. Thanks for watching.